At what point, like, how old were you when you started to realize what really happened to your father?
As far as like the whole, like the whole setup and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That wasn't until I was in the military. That wasn't until.
So at no point, hold on a second.
Yeah.
So you were 5, just for
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
We talked about that a half hour ago or so or whatever. But you were 5 when you find out. You go back to playing with your toys because you don't even know the difference.
Oh, you mean what happened as far as my dad's death?
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, at what age do you start to realize, oh, Dad's gone? It wasn't just a business trip. Like, he really is dead.
Yeah.
He's not going. I wonder what happened there. And then when did you figure? It sounds like you're saying you didn't figure it out till the military.
Well, as far as like when I finally realized he was dead, like I'd probably say like 6 months, but I still didn't really understand death. It was like one of those weird gradual transitions, right?
Yes.
Like he's gone and I'm still young, and then finally like I realized he's gone and it doesn't really hit me. It wasn't until I was about 8 that it hurt.
Yeah.
That it affected me. Now, as far as like what happened with all the corruption and stuff around his situation, I didn't feel. My mom would tell me things here and there as a kid.
I mean, she knew, obviously.
Oh, she knew. Yeah, because I would ask my mom. I was like, "Are we gonna ever get the island? Are we gonna ever get our dad's money?" And she would always say, "In Nigeria, don't hold your breath."
Yeah.
She's like, "Don't hold your breath at all." You know what I mean? But it wasn't until later, in talking to my brother, my half brother, because my dad was married years before he married my mom, and I got a half brother who was a lawyer in the UK, and then he went back down to Nigeria after my dad's death to try to fight them. As a matter of fact, he's been on the case for almost 40 years. Yeah. As a matter of fact, they offered about 4 or 5 years ago, the government offered him $8 million
to settle.
My brother said no, because again, it was my dad spent 8 million pounds. He spent 8 million pounds in the 70s, adjust for inflation, plus interest, plus the money that my dad spent to dredge the foreshore to create the island, plus the contracts he signed, plus the construction that he already, money that he had put up. So,
but is your half brother worried about his safety? Like, he's going after the government here, and maybe in a public way, if he's going after him legally for this long.
Well, he goes back and forth between the UK and Nigeria.
Yeah, that wouldn't make me feel better.
But I know, but it's his legacy. He's trying to get it back.
That's awesome. I'm not.
But at the same time, I think that so in '87 when he started, they didn't pay much attention to him because he's like, here's this guy who was my half brother who was born in Nigeria. Like when he was like 6, he was sent to boarding school in London, and he was educated in London, and then now he's coming back. He's a Yankee. He's not a threat to them. He's not a threat to the night. They're like, oh, here's this boy. He's a UK boy. You know what I mean? And it's like, pay him no mind, right? So I think there's still some of that where to them it's like, you are not really a threat to us. Go play with your toys, right? As a matter of fact, I don't know if you remember that there was a whole there was an end Sars movement and in Nigeria. If you Google end Sars, END-SARS, Nigeria. Just Google end END SARS and then Nigeria, something like that.
Yeah, here we go. End SARS.
SARS now, right?
Okay.
So that was like there were riots. It was crazy. Like this was, what year was that? 2020, okay? 2020.
Yeah,
right?
October 2020. Okay. 2020 was an interesting year for cops around the world.
Yeah. It got crazy out there, right?
Cops and governments.
And so the courthouse in Lagos, where my dad's case has been for like the last 30, 40 years, rioters, say this in quotes, air quotes, they go into the courthouse, they find the files of my dad's case, and they burn just those files. We're talking 30 years of documentation.
Plants.
And then the courthouse says, well, rioters came in and burnt down our courthouse.
Convenient.
And then you go in and check, and it's like they only burnt the case files for my dad's case. Right?
That is sketchy.
So that's why with my brother, it's like, he's not, I think the sense is they're not going to do anything to him because they don't see him as a threat. I think they see me more as a threat than they see my brother as a threat. if anything, especially with that social media post and how the story's starting to come out, and especially my background and, you know, and
continuing to get more and more attention to in your post-SEAL career.
Yep, and then my book came out, and now it's about to be a movie, so more people are gonna know the story. You know, every day I'm getting Nigerians that are like, I got your back. This corruption has been out of control. It needs to stop. What do you need? Got your back. So I think as my story gets out there more and more and more, you know, I'm more of a threat to them than my brother is.
Is there, because again, like you don't find this out till years and years later. So in a way, I don't know, I can't relate to that. I never had something happen to me like that, thank God. But, you know, when you're molded by it right when it happens with something like that rage lives inside of you your whole life. But in a lot of ways, you didn't have that for 15 years or whatever. So is there, I don't want to ask this question the wrong way, but is there a little bit of like I don't want to say displacement from it, but like you can't try to relive it like it just happened yesterday, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is really fucked up. Like if I can change it and expose it, I will. But it's not like this fresh, like just seeing red all the time.
No,
do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, no, you know what? I totally understand. I think it's the opposite. I'm grateful for it, man. Like, bro, I'm so grateful for the past that I had and how things transpired, because I would not be where I am today without that story.
Yeah.
At all. Like, you know, what they meant to harm me was turned around for good. Because yes, it was hard. Yes, it sucked. Yes, we lost. Dude, if I win that case, I'll be a billionaire tomorrow. So yes, I lost billions of dollars. You know what I mean? Or what could have been billions of dollars. But I want to be who I am. I want to have had the path. I want to have had the hard upbringing in the Bronx. And I want to have, you know, had to be snuck into the Navy to freaking and become, I want to have made it through SEAL. I'm in SEAL training, bro, and it's like a kick in the nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like the cold was horrible. The cold was the hardest part of it. And you know, and the ocean swims was the worst part of it for me. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I could take the beatings, I could take the torment, I could take the name calling, I could take the mental games, because my mind had already been strengthened through my upbringing, through the adverse effect. When I was a kid, I remember the older kids would they would get chalk and draw. All my friends remember this. I'm sure they laughing when they hear this part. They would draw a boxing ring with chalk. And they would pick who was going to fight in a boxing ring. And you had to. But it was slap boxing fights. And we would be slap boxing fights. And we'd just be fighting each other. And like that toughens you up. I'm not saying that's
no, I understand
kids
exactly
need to be raised, but it's like when you have that type of environment, you playing two-hand touch football on concrete, you getting pushed down to the concrete and bleeding, and then you get back up, and it's just normal for you to keep going.
You learn.
You know what I mean? It's just like that hardens you. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I got to this program called SEAL Training, I went through Hell Week. I made it through Hell Week 2 times.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.